Alright, welcome back to the channel everyone. So as you can see here today, we're not going to be unboxing cards, we're going to be unboxing collectibles. So I had these two boxes waiting and I decided today was the day we're going to be unveiling what is inside. So you notice that they're roughly about the same shaped box. So that's going to be your first clue. And I can tell you again right now, these are not going to be cards. These are going to be something of the collectible nature. So join me as we find out what's inside these two behemoth boxes next on our unboxing video. Alright, here we are with box number one. So let's use our box cutter and see how we do. Well, I'm fairly confident I know what's in these boxes, but you know what? Because I haven't opened them, I don't know 100%. You never know what's going to be in them. Alright, so here we have some packaging and start with the first box. We have Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates line. Let's take him out of the package and see what he looks like. So these aren't the original run, these are the reprint ones. I believe they said they're changing the color on them, is the difference. For me personally, I don't really mind. You know, the price is a lot cheaper than the originals we're going for. And the fact that you can get the set, it looks nice. So as you can see here, here's our packaging. You can see the nice green. And it's the back, Raphael, and you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle logo. So let's see how he looks. So this again is series 1 of the figures. They've pre-sold, I believe, up to series 4. And these are kind of like some of the other Ultimate lines that Super 7 makes, where they're based on the original figures, not based on like the cartoon like the NECA line might be. So let's take off the slipcase and see how he looks. So as you can see here, he's got a bunch of accessories that he comes with. He's got all of his different weapons, and he's got kind of the classic, you can see in the back there behind him, he's got that kind of classic weapons display that came with the original figures. We had to kind of punch them out to get them in there. So there you go. Figure number 1 is Raphael. Put that down there and look at the next one. So the next one in the case is the Foot Soldier. So the Foot Soldier. So while this isn't obviously a great way to get an army builder figure, it is nice that you can get the very first series will have the Foot Soldiers. And of course, with a lot of these different series, they design them in such a way that they don't necessarily put like all the 4 Ninja Turtles in the very first series. They spread them out, so each of the 4 series has one different turtle in them. So it's a good way to ensure that collectors are going to stick with the entire line and not just maybe pick up the first series and then not buy any more. So let's see. So you can see here we have a nice purple case with the Foot logo on the front, and again purple Ninja Turtles on the back. And let's see what he looks like up front and close. So you can see here again, it looks very much like the original toy. You can see all the weapons he's got there, all the different kind of guns, and I definitely remember some of these things. And again, if you look in the background back here, you can see that kind of original weapon display. So I like that they gave you both the weapons, you know, a modern take on the weapons, and the kind of vintage looking punch them out yourself, one tone color weapons. All right, so next we have the Flyman himself, Baxter Stockman. So let's see how he looks. So far really happy with this line. Again, I'm glad that they re-released the figures. So because the other series 2 to 4 were relatively easy to get still, and they don't command that high price. But if you wanted to get the originals, you were kind of stuck paying, you know, over $100 plus for the figure. Especially Raphael, he was going for quite closer to $200 on the secondary market. So it's nice that they gave everyone a chance to get them while also maintaining value for the original. That's one thing too that I'm not big on the secondary market, but I'm glad that people aren't going to lose money on them just to get them reprinted. So he has, of course, his fly face as the logo, and again we get the turtles on the back. And let's take a look up close what it looks like. So there he is in all of his fly glory. So he's actually quite large too. And you can see he even comes like a mouser. And he's got more hands and the fly swatter that he originally came with. So there's the back too. See what it looks like. It's got this little bio on there. So really loving the graffiti on the side too. Awesome, awesome job. And lastly, we have Master Splinter. So he's the last figure in the first line. So they all the lines have 4 figures in them. And this is kind of the way the box looks and everything. It's identical to the Thundercats Ultimates line. They also have figures from that as well. So it's nice that they keep in consistency with the Ultimates line. And again, green, but he's got the Splinter logo. Kind of looks like very much a rat. That's one thing as kids, we didn't really pay that much attention to what they look like on the cartoon compared to what the figures look like. I mean, they were the Ninja Turtle figures, right? So it didn't matter that they didn't look identical to them. Just the idea that they look like the characters, right? All right, so let's take them out. And on the top too, it says Ultimates on all the figures. All right, so here is Splinter, the good guy leader, it says on the back. So there he is in his rat form. So he comes with his bow there, and he's got a bunch of other ninja weapons and his coffee. You see the coffee, and again, he's got his vintage weapons in the background there, unpunched, and you see the back of the card. So that was our first package. So let's dive into our second. All right, so here I am with the second box. So probably won't come as a surprise what's going to be in this one, but let's do a reveal. After looking at the other figures, wow, I was really blown away. Not only just the detail on them, but like the size of the figures. Like, there's a lot to like about the figures. I mean, I love the NECA ones too. I think they are awesome because they represent the cartoon, very well with the toys. But I mean, looking at these things, just the scope of them and the detail and everything, like they're even better than I thought they were going to look just looking at them online. Like, I'm quite pleased with purchasing them now. So again, no surprise what we have here. But we have Leonardo from Series 2. So what a time to be alive. 2 different companies making excellent Ninja Turtle figures, right? All right, so let's see. And I will say, like, the packaging and everything for these, like, they give you a giant roll of bubble wrap in the side, and then all the figures all have soft plastic around that, plus the mailer that comes with it. And I do love the mailers; they are quite nice. So again, we have our turtle logo, the swords and everything, and each one, even though it is like the turtles, they have like the weapons on the side, so they're all unique. And here he is again. Leonardo. So he's got, comes with 2 different heads, as you can see there, and all of his weapons. Again, he has all the classic weapons in the back. His communicator, a bunch of different hands, a couple different swords, 2 different heads. You can see there's kind of 2 different styles, right, of heads there. Kind of the more serious look, and then like the more kind of almost comic book look. All right, so after our turtle for this box, we have Bebop. This is our first of 2 evildoers. So this is our first of Shredder's grunts there, whatever you want to call those 2. Getting kind of messy with this one. Alright, so again, you can see that it has the Bebop has a little logo there on the back, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon, and let's see what he looks like. So again, a very faithful adaptation of the original toy. You can see there he's got 2 different heads, kind of one that has more like a pinkish kind of original color, and then more like the cartoonish look. His drill gun, his sword, again the vintage weapons, a couple extra hands, and just look at the size of him. Like he is very, and then there's his back there, this card detail. Very beefy figure. So, again, excellent job, just like the scale of them. All right, so we get a kind of a unique one that maybe you wouldn't have thought it would have been this early in the line. But we have Mutagen Man. It's one of the ones I loved as a kid, the vintage looking Mutagen Man. So I'm interested to see what it looks like here. So given the figures I've looked at, it looks like if they're heroes, they're in green, and if they're villains, they're in purple. It seems to be the theme they're kind of going with. A lot of times as a kid, when we got the figures, they hadn't been on the cartoon yet, so we just made up our own stories, right? They looked kind of evil, they were evil. Okay, there's Mutagen Man. You can see his kind of eyeballs and brains sticking out there. And then again, our turtle logo. And you can see the non-stop mutating monster. So let's take a look at him. And again, look at the size of the scope of him. He's got his weapons. Now, he doesn't come with as many accessories. Again, he does have his vintage ones in the back and a turtle. And it looks like some garbage, a bunch of different like random garbage pieces there. But with this one, I think a lot of it, the money went into the actual figure itself. A lot of the tooling and everything for these figures is quite massive. And you know, given that this is the first line, there isn't a lot of shared parts for all these, right? These are all like unique figures. Even the turtles have a lot of unique things. Okay, so lastly we have the main man himself, Shredder. This is the last figure in Wave 2. So let's get him out of the box and see how he looks. Now, one thing about Shredder that always kind of bothered me was like his pose. I'm talking about the original figure. His pose was kind of like hunched over, leaning. Like it was kind of awkward to play with as a kid because he wasn't standing straight up like all the other figures. Even like some of them when they were kind of hunching, you know, they're at least kind of still, you know, there, while he was like in that weird kind of ninja pose. And I've watched like the Toys That Made Us and all that stuff talking about the design of them. But it's still, I don't really get why they wouldn't just make the figure look like he did in the, you know, in terms of like just standing upright. Like there wasn't any reason why he was in that pose. It seemed like some designer decided that way. All right, so then we have our Shredder with our classic Shredder helmet there in our purple box. And we can unveil him. You can see the bad guy leader himself, Shredder, nice and tall Shredder. He's got a lot of different weapons, his swords. And you notice he's got that weird head with the kind of like the original figure where the eyebrows are like on the helmet. A very fun callback to the original. And it looks like he's got his cape down below. Down there, you can see kind of inside there. And then he's got his vintage weapons in the back. So that is all of Wave 2. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed looking at it for the first time with everyone, sharing that experience. So I'll be definitely doing more unboxing videos in the future. So be sure to be on the lookout for those. And thank you for watching, and hopefully you will subscribe and like and do make all the comments. And I appreciate everyone that does. So till next time, bye-bye.